Hey guys, Ray Kaliz here. I'm from Mishlug, and this is Scooby-Doo and Batman as a mashup, and they team up together. It's part of the comic book series, and so what we do is Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Machine. They've come up to Dracula's castle, and they're chasing after the Man-Bat, who happens to be way up at the top of the tower, and of course the Man-Bat has escaped from Arkham Asylum, right? And so as they make their way up and through the path and through the covered bridge, and they make their way up, and you can see Velma and Daphne and Fred. They're getting spooked there, chased by the ghosts and the goblins and the things that are coming up here. And as they cover the bridge, and you can see Dracula and his brides. We come around here, and this way we integrate the Batman villains along with the Scooby-Doo villains. And what's interesting is that as we go to the backside, we have a monster's ball, and they're really surprised by this monster's ball. They had no idea that Batman. So you got Batman, you have Robin, you have a Batgirl, Ace the Bat Dog, right? And they're sneaking up on the castle here, but there's a monster's ball, right? And so we have the mariachi band. Right, and the integration that we did here is really fun. You know, it's an extra fun technique. And then you
talk a little bit more about that technique if you can, because that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's what's called a snot technique, right? So studs not on top, and this entire level is built that way. So it's built on its side, and these small pieces are then integrated in. It took a long time to figure out that pattern, but once it was in place, yeah, I was really happy with the result, right? Another interesting thing here might be is the spiral staircase, utilizing different types of bricks in different ways, right? So we have an eyepiece, we have a claw, and we have an arm from a skeleton. And by integrating those in, I was able to make a spiral staircase. Yeah, my kids thought that was pretty cool, right?
It's a great technique.
Lots of fun. Poison Ivy is here, of course, with Seymour from Little Shop of Horrors. And as we go along, you've got to have Scooby and Shaggy, of course, right? So they're in their boat being attacked by the many different sharks that LEGO provides. And then ultimately, you know, this whole set comes together, and it's just a ton of fun to put it together and to be here with the public. That just, when the little kids stop by and they get all excited, it just makes it all worthwhile. It really does. Yep.
No, it's a fantastic layout. Let's take a closer look at some more of the details on the back here, because you've put a lot of time and effort in planning here, obviously. So take us through some more of these rooms.
Right. So we also have an inlay technique here, and then you have the two doors coming on up. And if you look really closely in there, these staircases rise up, and then they actually go to the second level, and the second level goes up to the third level. So I built it like a dollhouse, so that the kids can play with it, right? And so that's part of the adventure. There's things like hidden doors and compartments. Back here behind in the kitchen, there's a doorway that slides open, revealing one of Dracula's coffins.
Ooh.
Right? And of course, they have to have access from the outside. And so in one of the sides of the building around here, you can also sneak in through the outside of the building. So right here is a secret door, right? And it's just a ton of fun. The little surprises, you know, that we have in here. And, you know, some of the people, they like to have Easter eggs, if you will, right? So I snuck Olaf in there, for instance. He doesn't necessarily fit with the set, but it's so fun to see one of the little kids go, "Hey, it's Olaf!" and they get all excited, you know? Blacklight is also a great technique. And I use it here with the witches. So they're having a witches convention and in the potions room. And then down in here, you can see Talia and Ra's al Ghul. And they're in the Lazarus pit, right, with the different rock monsters. That's also a very interesting thing with LEGO is they have so many different pieces and parts from many years. And what I've tried to do is incorporate those bits and pieces into this creation, right?
A good example of that is like the Batlord pieces there.
Very good. Yeah. So the Batlord, there's a good story behind that. Dracula didn't build this castle. He took it over from the Batlord. This was originally the Batlord's castle, and now he's serving drinks, right? And so he's got his flags in here. You'll see his shield in many places incorporated throughout the castle. Yep. Great question.
And then what are some of the characters we have over here?
Oh boy, again, the Batman's main characters, of course, you got the Joker, right? He's playing the organ, which is kind of fun because that organ was the first thing that I built for this entire set. And that was my inspiration, some of the Universal monsters and the love of DC. The Penguin, Harley Quinn, right? The Scarecrow, Mr. Freeze, right? And LEGO in the Batman movie too, right? They brought together a lot of these, I'll say smaller characters like the Clockman, Eggman, right? Firefly, the Calendar Man, the Eraser. Most people have never heard of these guys before. LEGO brings them back to life, and it's really exciting. Again, it's fun to see some of the kids that will stop by, and frankly, a lot of the adults, they have a really good time. They remember Scooby-Doo from the movies. I had one lady stop by yesterday, and she talked about watching the Scooby-Doo and Batman video on VHS tape. She said she watched it so many times that she had to buy another tape, put it onto a CD, so she was just a huge fan. And that was just, again, it's just so much fun to see the people come on over. Yep.
You've got even more as we go to the tower section. What's this part in the middle here?
Right, so the tower section is, if you can kind of see from the front side, but you have Frankenstein's monster, and he's being electrocuted by the lightning. And so this is Frankenstein's bride as well, right? So I've got her in there. And what I did was I took a plasma ball and I broke it apart, and then I incorporated it in with LEGO using different pieces. So you have a tire piece here, and then I made a base for it all the way around, right? And that base then has the power supply. I get that question a lot from people. How do you get power, right? And so you got to be smart and be able to put power supplies in hidden compartments, right? So I have a variety of those hidden compartments throughout the build in order to put these special effects into place. Yep.
We've got a nice little room down here as well with a collection of quite a variety of artifacts.
Yeah, super fun, right? So I had, again, I talk about the kids getting involved, right? And so I had my son. He's like, hey, Dad, is it okay if I build a treasure room? I said, well, of course. Here's the treasure room. Let's build it. So he brought in all sorts of different things that he felt would make a pretty cool treasure room, right? And so that's part of the, again, that collaboration, that we have in here. And of course, the treasure room has to also have a secret door. And so there's a secret door, and you can probably see it through there on that side. And then you can see it on this side here too, of course, right? So a small secret door so you can get in and out of the treasure room, right?
Perfect. And if we move back around to the front side over here then, so you had lots of fun details out here as well. So what are some more of the landscaping kind of details out front?
Right, so landscaping has been fun, right? So you have the pumpkin patch, you have, of course, a scarecrow that's in the pumpkin patch, and the trees. So these creepy trees using claw pieces, using, you've got Boomerang here, right? And he's lost his boomerang up in a tree, right? And different leaf pieces to just create this kind of creepy effect. It was a lot of fun last night here at Brickworld that we got to turn the lights off, right? And as a participant, when the lights are off, all of the green creepy effects and the plasma ball and the other lighting effects that are throughout the castle really bring this to life in a different way. LEGO has a lot of pieces that also glow in the dark, like these little anglerfish. Right, and so at night they glow. Tons of fun, really a good time. And I have Dracula also. His coffin is on the inside, right? And you have a large spider, right? And some might recognize that from Lord of the Rings, right? Or from Harry Potter. There's also similar large spiders.
Now, you've got a tremendous amount of kind of rock work build up throughout
Yes,
here as well.
Yes. You know, the rock work has also been a good challenge, and it's something that continues to improve day by day, week by week. And I've been working on this set for about 3 years now. The technique that I like to use to help support such a structure, because this is pretty heavy, right? And what I do is I'll show you a little behind the scenes here. I use pink foam, okay? And this structural material is able to be lightweight, really firm, and helps to provide a very flat base when you're at a display table like this. Utilizing these, well, people call them burps or big ugly rock pieces, right? You know, these pieces are really fun. They're simple to integrate. They can make a very nice, clean edge all the way around. And then in some areas, it's nice to be able to put slope pieces in to kind of hide that, I'll say, large piece.
Add some extra detail in.
Yeah, exactly. But also celebrate the piece, right? Legos make so many awesome pieces. Sometimes it's just good to celebrate them as they are, right? And so I've done that like around the border of the castle. It also provided me with a flat surface for the train to be able to go around. The ghost train, or the spooky train, has been also a really nice thing to add into the train, or into the set, right? It gives a lot of movement. The pieces on there glow in the dark as well. And I'll just stop it here real quick. And so I have a tender car that is providing the power and is pushing the train around the track. There's a monster inside, right? And the horses also, they glow, right? And there's a couple of little skeletons in the back in the caboose, right? And again, it's really fun to see the kids. They light up. Dad, hey, Dad, check it out, the train. It's running around. And as we build these types of sets, I find that I'm also expanding. You know, it started off, like I talked about, something small. The castle gets a little bigger. The display gets a little bit bigger. And even the track, I've designed it to be expandable. You can see the track ends, but it's really just the beginning. So next year, it'll be even bigger, right? And it'll kind of continue to grow as the story also unfolds.
That's amazing, because this is already very large. Do you know, like, the piece count or the dimensions of this layout?
Right. So the piece count's around 50 to 60,000 pieces, right? The dimensions of this, it's about 9 feet long by about 4 feet wide, 4 to 6 feet wide, okay? And I wouldn't be too surprised to see it grow a little bit wider and a little bit longer over the next years. Yeah. Yeah.
This is an incredible layout. You've included so many different characters and all sorts of great storylines in here. So fantastic work, and I can't wait to see what you do in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, too. I appreciate it.